Hare Krishna, everyone. Welcome back to the daily readings of Srila Prabhupada's books, where page by page we're taking the path, the journey, the adventure from the material world into the spiritual world and approaching Krishna in Goloka Vrindavan. And now we're in 4th canto. We have to go 5 more cantos until we get to Goloka Vrindavan, 10th canto, Krishna. So it's an adventure, and we're on this adventure together. Welcome aboard, all you out there in cyberspace. We are now, by the way, the latest numbers is 1,404. 1,404 followers.
Hello.
Hare Krishna. Okay. Sanatana Goswami had something to say about this Srimad-Bhagavatam. We hear every day. Hopefully it will go deeper and deeper into our hearts. And just like the Bhagavatam, the more we hear, the more hearts become purified, the more we learn, and the more newer and fresher things come into our hearts. And we continue to do this for the rest of our lives. So here it is. Sanatana Goswami's glorification of the Srimad-Bhagavatam. Srimad-Bhagavata Mahima Stotram. It goes like this. Sarva Shastra Nipiyusha Sarva Vedaika Satpala Sarva Siddhanta Ratnadya Sarva Lokaika Drikprada. O nectar from the ocean of all scriptures, singular fruit of all the Vedas, rich mine of the precious gems of all conclusive truths, you are the only giver of sight to all the worlds. Sarva Bhagavata Prana Srimad Bhagavata Prabho Kalidwandodidaditya Shri Krishna Parivartita. O life air of all the Supreme Lord's devotees, O Master Srimad Bhagavatam, you are the sun risen in the darkness of Kali. You are the exact image of Shri Krishna. Paramananda Pataya Prema Varshak Sharayate Sarvada Sarvasevyaya Shri Krishnaya Namostsume. I bow down to you who are supremely blissful to read. Your every syllable pours down a flood of prema. You can always be served by everyone. You are Shri Krishna himself. Marika Bando Matsanghin Madguno Man Mahadana Man Nisadaka Mad Bhagya Mad Ananda Namostute. My only friend, my constant companion, my spiritual master, my good wealth, my savior, my good fortune, my source of ecstasy, I bow down to you. Asadu Saduta Dayin Adini Chochata Kada Hanamun Chakada Chinmam Premna Rit Kanta Yospuda. O bestower of saintliness to the unsaintly, O exalter of the most fallen, please never leave me. Always appear in my heart and my voice with pure love. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Okay, we've reached chapter 31. We're going to hear Narada Muni's instruction to the Pracetas. Beginning with text 8. The great sage Maitreya continued, My dear Vidura, being thus petitioned by the Pracetas, the supreme devotee Narada, who was always absorbed in thoughts of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, began to reply. Purport. In this verse, Bhagavan Narada indicates that Narada is always absorbed. In this verse, Bhagavan Narada indicates that Narada is always absorbed in thoughts of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Bhagavat Yutama Shloka Avishtatma. Narada has no other business than thinking of Krishna, talking of Krishna, and preaching about Krishna. Therefore he is sometimes called Bhagavan. Excuse me. Bhagavan means one who possesses all opulences. When a person possesses Bhagavan within his heart, he is sometimes called Bhagavan. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur said, Sakshat Dharitvaina Samasta Shastrayi. In every Shastra, the spiritual master is accepted directly as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This does not mean that the spiritual master or a saintly person like Narada has actually become the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but he is accepted in this way because he possesses the Supreme Personality of Godhead within his heart constantly. As described here, Avishtatma. When one is simply absorbed in the thought of Krishna, one is also called Bhagavan. Bhagavan possesses all opulence. If one possesses Bhagavan within his heart always, does not he automatically possess all opulence also? In that sense, a great devotee like Narada can be called Bhagavan. However, we cannot tolerate when a rascal or impostor is called Bhagavan. One must possess either all opulences or the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Bhagavan, who possesses all opulences. Text 9. The great sage Narada said, when living entity engages in the devotional service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is the Supreme Controller, his birth, all his fruitive activities, his lifespan, his mind, and his words are all factually perfect. Purport. In this verse, the word Nrinam is very important. There are many other births besides human birth, but Narada Muni is herein especially speaking of human birth. Among human beings, there are different types of men. Of these, those who are advanced in spiritual consciousness or Krishna consciousness are called Aryans. Among Aryans, one who engages in the devotional service of the Lord is most successful in life. The word Nrinam indicates that lower animals are not expected to engage in the devotional service of the Lord. But in perfect human society, everyone should engage in the devotional service of the Lord. It does not matter whether one is born poor or rich, black or white. There may be so many material distinctions for one who takes birth in human society, but everyone should engage in the Lord's devotional service. At the present moment, civilized nations have given up God consciousness for economic development. They are actually no longer interested in advancing in God consciousness. Formerly, their forefathers were engaged in executing religious principles. Whether one is Hindu, Muslim, Buddhist, Jewish, or whatever, everyone has some religious institution. Real religion, however, means becoming God conscious. It is particularly mentioned herein that birth is successful if an interest in Krishna consciousness is taken. Activity is successful if it results in serving the Lord. Philosophical speculation or mental speculation is successful when engaged in understanding the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The senses are worth possessing when engaged in the service of the Lord. Actually, devotional service means engaging the senses in the service of the Lord. In the present moment, our senses are not purified. Therefore, our senses are engaged in the service of society, friendship, love, politics, sociology, and so on. However, when the senses are engaged in the service of the Lord, one attains bhakti, or devotional service. In the next verse, these matters will be more clearly explained. When one great devotee of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu saw the Lord, he said that all his desires were fulfilled. He said, "Today everything is auspicious. Today my birthplace and neighborhood are completely glorified. Today my senses, from my eyes down to my toes, are fortunate. Today my life is successful because I have been able to see the lotus feet that are worshipped by the goddess of fortune." Text 10. A civilized human being has three kinds of births. The first birth is by a pure father and mother, and this birth is called birth by semen. The next birth takes place when one is initiated by the spiritual master, and this birth is called Savitra. The third birth, called Yajnika, takes place when one is given the opportunity to worship Lord Vishnu. Despite the opportunities for attaining such births, even if one gets the lifespan of a demigod, if one does not actually engage in the service of the Lord, everything is useless. Similarly, one's activities may be mundane or spiritual, but they are useless if they are not meant for satisfying the Lord. Purport. The word Shaukra, Janma, means taking birth by seminal discharge. Animals can take their birth in this way too. However, a human being can be reformed from the Shaukra Janma, as recommended in the Vedic civilization. Before the birth takes place, or before father and mother unite, there is a ceremony called Garbhadana Sanskara, which must be adopted. This Garbhadana Sanskara is especially recommended for higher castes, especially the Brahmana caste. It is said in the Shastras that if the Garbhadana Sanskara is not practiced among the higher castes, the entire family becomes Shudra. It is also stated that in this age of Kali, everyone is Shudra due to the absence of the Garbhadana Sanskara. This is the Vedic system. According to the Pancharatrika system, however, even though everyone is a Shudra due to the absence of the Garbhadana Sanskara, if a person has but a little tendency to become Krishna conscious, he should be given the chance to elevate himself to the transcendental platform of devotional service. Our Krishna consciousness movement adopts this Pancharatrika Vidhi, as advised by Srila Sanatan Goswami, who says, "Yata kanchanatam yati kanksyang rasavidanataha tata diksha vidanena dvijatvam jayate nrinam." As bell metal, when mixed with mercury, is transformed to gold, a person, even though not golden pure, Hare Krishna, and second, by the Gayatri Mantra, he is not allowed to enter the kitchen or deity room to execute duties. However, when one is elevated to the platform on which he can worship the deity, his previous birth does not matter. Chandalo pi dvijashresto haribhakti parayanaha haribhakti vihinascha dvijopi shapachadamaha. Even if one is born in the family of a Chandala, if one engages in the devotional service of the Lord, he becomes the best of Brahmanas. But even a Brahmana who is devoid of devotional service is on the level of the lowest dog-eater. If a person is advanced in devotional service, it does not matter whether he was born in a Chandala family. He becomes purified. As Sri Prahlad Maharaj said, Viprad dvishad gunayutad aravindanaba padharavinda vimukhat sapacham barishtam manyetad arpita mano pachane hitartha pranam punati sukhalam natu bhurimanaham. Srimad-Bhagavatam 7, 9, 10. Even if one is a Brahmana and is qualified with all the Brahminical qualifications, he is considered degraded if he's averse to worshipping the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But if a person is attached to the service of the Lord, he becomes glorified even if he is born in a Chandala family. Such a Chandala can deliver not only himself, but all his family predecessors. Without devotional service, even a proud Brahmana cannot deliver himself. And what to speak of his family? In many instances in the Shastras, it is seen that even a Brahmana has become a Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, Mlecha, or non-Brahmana. And there are many instances of one's being born a Kshatriya or Vaishya, or even lower, and in the 18th year, attaining elevation to the Brahminical platform by the process of initiation. Therefore, Narada Muni says, Yasya yal lakshanam proktam pungso varna bivyanjakam yad anyatra pidrishyeta tat tenaiva binirdishet. Bhagavatam 7:11-35. It is not a fact that because one is born in a Brahmana family, he is automatically a Brahmana. He has a better chance to become a Brahmana, but unless he meets all the Brahminical qualifications, he cannot be accepted as such. On the other hand, if the Brahminical qualifications are found in the person of a Shudra, he should immediately be accepted as a Brahmana. To substantiate this, there are many quotations from Bhagavatam, Mahabharata, Bharadwaj Sanghita, and the Pancharatra, as well as many other scriptures. As far as the duration of life of the demigods concerning Lord Brahma, it is said, Sahasra Yuga Paryantam Ahar Yad Brahmano Viduhu Ratrim Yoga Sahasrantam Teho Ratra Vidojanaha. Gita 8:17. The duration of one life, the duration of one day of Brahma is 1,000 times greater than the 4 yugas, aggregating 4,320,000 years. Similarly, Brahma's one night, Brahma lives for 100 years of such days and nights. The word vibhuddhayusha indicates that even if one gets a long lifespan, his lifespan is useless if he is not a devotee. A living entity is the eternal servitor of the Supreme Lord, and unless he comes to the platform of devotional service, his lifespan, good birth, glorious activities, and everything else are null and void. Text 11. Without devotional service, what is the meaning of severe austerities? The process of hearing, the power of speech, the power of mental speculation, elevated intelligence, strength, and the power of the senses. Purport. From the Upanishads, Mundaka, Upanishad 3.2.3, we learn, Nayam Atma, Pravachanena Labhyo, Namedaya na bahuna shutena, Yam evaisha vinute tena labhyas tasyaisha atma vivinute tanum swam. Our relationship with the Supreme Lord is never advanced by simple study of the Vedas. There are many Mayavadi sannyasis fully engaged in studying the Vedas, Vedanta Sutra, and Upanishads, but unfortunately they cannot grasp the real essence of knowledge. In other words, they do not know the Supreme Personality of Godhead. What then is the use in studying all the Vedas if one cannot grasp the essence of the Vedas, Krishna? The Lord confirms in Bhagavad Gita 15:15, Vedaischa sarvair aham eva vedya. By all the Vedas, I am to be known. There are many religious systems wherein penances and austerities are greatly stressed, but at the end, no one understands Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. There is therefore no point in such penance, tapasya. If one has actually approached the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he does not need to undergo severe austerities. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is understood through the process of devotional service. In the 9th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, devotional service is explained as Rajaguyam, the king of all confidential knowledge. There are many good reciters of Vedic literatures, and they recite works such as Ramayana, Srimad-Bhagavatam, and Bhagavad Gita. Sometimes these professional readers manifest very good scholarship and exhibit word jugglery. Unfortunately, they are never devotees of the Supreme Lord. Consequently, they cannot impress upon the audience the real essence of knowledge, Krishna. There are also many thoughtful writers and creative philosophers, but despite all their learning, if they cannot approach the Supreme Personality of Godhead, they are simply useless mental speculators. There are many sharply intelligent people in this material world, and they discover so many things for sense gratification. They also analytically study all the material elements. But despite their expert knowledge and expert scientific analysis of the whole cosmic manifestation, their endeavors are useless because they cannot understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead. As far as our senses are concerned, there are many animals, both beasts and birds, who are very expert in exercising their senses more keenly than human beings. For example, vultures or hawks can go very high in the sky, but can see a small body on the ground very clearly. This means that their eyesight is so keen that they can find an eatable corpse from a great distance. Certainly their eyesight is much keener than human beings, but this does not mean that their existence is more important than that of a human being. Similarly, dogs can smell many things from a far distance. Many fish can understand the power of sound, that an enemy is coming. All these examples are described in Srimad-Bhagavatam. If one's senses cannot help him attain the highest perfection of life, realization of the Supreme, they are all useless. Text 12. Transcendental practices that do not ultimately help one realize the Supreme Personality of Godhead are useless. Be they mystic yogic practices, the analytical study of matter, severe austerity, the acceptance of sannyas, or the study of Vedic literatures. All these may be very important aspects of spiritual advancement, but unless one understands the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Hari, all these processes are useless. Purport. In Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya 24, 109, it is said, Bhakti Vina Kevala Jnani Mukti Nahihaya Bhakti Sadhana Kariye Prapta Brahmaloya. Impersonalists do not take to devotional service, but take to other practices, such as the analytical study of the material elements, the discrimination between matter and spirit, and the mystic yoga system. These are beneficial only insofar as they are complementary to devotional service. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu therefore told Sanatana Goswami that without a touch of devotional service, jnana, yoga, and Sankhya philosophy cannot give one the desired results. The impersonalists wish to merge into the Supreme Brahman. However, merging into the Supreme Brahman also requires a touch of devotional service. The Absolute Truth is realized in three phases: impersonal Brahman, Paramatma, and the Supreme Personality of Godhead. All these require a touch of devotional service. Sometimes it is actually seen that these Mayavadis also chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, although their motive is to merge into the Brahman effulgence of the Absolute. The yogis also, at times, take to chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, but their purpose is different from that of the bhaktas. In all processes, karma, jnana, or yoga, bhakti is required. That is the purport of this verse. Text 13. Factually, the Supreme Personality of Godhead is the original source of all self-realization. Consequently, the goal of all auspicious activities, karma, jnana, yoga, and bhakti, is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Purport. The living entity is the marginal energy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and the material world is the external energy. Under the circumstances, one must understand that the Supreme Personality of Godhead is factually the original source of both matter and spirit. This is explained in the 7th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, 7:4 and 5. Bhumir apo nalo bayu kammano buddhirevacha ahankara iti yame bina prakritir ashtada apariyamitastvanyam prakritim vidime padam jiva bhutam mahabaho yaidam daryate jagat. Earth, water, fire, air, ether, mind, intelligence, and false ego. Altogether, these 8 constitute my separated material energies. But besides this inferior energy, O mighty armed Arjuna, there is a superior energy of mine which comprises the living entities who are exploiting the resources of this material inferior nature. The entire cosmic manifestation is but a combination of matter and spirit. The spiritual part is the living entity, and these living entities are described as prakriti, or energy. The living entity is never described as Purusha, the Supreme Person. Therefore, to identify the living entity with the Supreme Lord is simply ignorance. The living entity is the marginal potency of the Supreme Lord, although there is factually no difference between the energy and the energetic. The duty of the living entity is to understand his real identity. When he does, Krishna gives him all the facilities to come to the platform of devotional service. That is the perfection of life. This is indicated in the Vedic Upanishad. Yam evaisha vrinute tenalabhyas tasyaisha atma vrinute tanum swam. Lord Krishna confirms this in Bhagavad Gita 10:10. Tesham satatajuktanam bhajatam pritipurvakam dadami buddhi yogam tam yenamam upayanti te. To those who are constantly devoted and worship me with love, I give the understanding by which they can come to me. The conclusion is that one must come to the platform of Bhakti Yoga, even though one may begin with Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, or Astanga Yoga. Unless one comes to the platform of Bhakti Yoga, self-realization or realization of the Absolute Truth cannot be achieved. Text 14. As pouring water on the root of a tree energizes the trunk, branches, twigs, this is a very important verse. Yata tador mula nishechanena tripyanti tat skanda bujo pashakaha pano parhadach yatitendriyanam tataiva sarvarhanam achuteja. As pouring water on the root of a tree energizes the trunk, branches, twigs, and everything else, and as supplying food to the stomach enlivens the senses and limbs of the body, simply worshipping the Supreme Personality of Godhead through devotional service automatically satisfies the demigods who are parts of that Supreme Personality. Purport. Sometimes people ask why this Krishna consciousness movement simply advocates worship of Krishna to the exclusion of the demigods. The answer is given in this verse. The example of pouring water on the root of a tree is very appropriate. In Bhagavad Gita 15.1 it is said, Urdhva Mulam Adak Shakam. This cosmic manifestation has expanded downward, and the root is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. As the Lord confirms in Bhagavad Gita 10.8, Aham Sarvasya Prabhava. I am the source of all spiritual and material worlds. Krishna is the root of everything. Therefore, rendering service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, Krishna Seva, means automatically serving all the demigods. Sometimes it is argued that karma and jnana require a mixture of bhakti in order to be successfully executed. And sometimes it is argued that bhakti also requires karma and jnana for its successful termination. The fact is, however, that although karma and jnana cannot be successful without bhakti, bhakti does not require the help of karma and jnana. Actually, as described by Srila Rupa Goswami, Anyabhilashita shunyam jnana karma janavritam. Pure devotional service should not be contaminated by the touch of karma and jnana. Modern society is involved in various types of philanthropic works, humanitarian works, and so on. But people do not know that these activities will never be successful unless Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is brought into the center. One may ask what harm there is in worshipping Krishna and the different parts of his body, the demigods. And the answer is also given in this verse. The point is that by supplying food to the stomach, the indriyas, the senses, are automatically satisfied. If one tries to feed his eyes or ears independently, the result is only havoc. Simply by supplying food to the stomach, we satisfy all of the senses. It is neither necessary nor feasible to render separate service to the individual senses. The conclusion is that by serving Krishna, Krishna Seva, everything is complete. As confirmed in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya 2262, Krishna Bhakti Kaili Sarva Karma Krita Hoy. If one is engaged in the devotional service of the Lord, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, everything is automatically accomplished. Text 15. During the rainy season, water is generated from the sun. And in due course of time, during the rainy season, summer season, the very same water is again absorbed by the sun. Similarly, all living entities, moving and inert, are generated from the earth, and again, after some time, they all return to the earth as dust. Similarly, everything emanates from the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and in due course of time, everything enters into Him again. Purport. Because of their poor fund of knowledge, impersonalist philosophers cannot understand how everything comes out from the Supreme Person and then merges into Him again. As Brahma Samhita 540 confirms, Yasya Prabhavato Jagadanta Koti Kotishvashesha Vasudhari Vibhuti Binam Tad Brahma Nishkalam Anantam Ashesha Bhutam Govindamari Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. Transcendental rays emanate from the body of Krishna, and within those rays, which are the Brahman effulgence, everything is existing. This is confirmed in Bhagavad Gita 9.4. Matstani Sarvabhutani. Although Krishna is not personally present everywhere, His energy is the cause of all creation. The entire cosmic manifestation is nothing but a display of Krishna's energies. The two examples given in this verse are very vivid. During the rainy season, the rain, by rejuvenating the production of vegetables on earth, enables man and animals to obtain living energy. When there is no rain, food is scarce, and man and animal simply die. All vegetables, as well as moving living entities, are originally products of the earth. They come from the earth, and again they merge into the earth. Similarly, the total material energy is generated from the body of Krishna, and at such a time, the entire cosmic manifestation is visible. When Krishna winds up his energy, everything vanishes. This is explained in a different way in Brahma Samhita 548. Yasyaika ni vishitakala matavalambya jivanti loma bilaja jagarantanataha Vishnur mahansa ihayasya kalab vishesho govindamari purusham tamaham bhajami. This entire material creation comes from the body of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and at the time of annihilation again enters into Him. This process of creation and dissolution is made possible by the breathing of Mahavishnu, who is only a plenary portion of Krishna. Text 16. Just as the sunshine is not different from the sun, the cosmic manifestation is also not different from the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The Supreme Personality is therefore all-pervasive within this material creation. When the senses are active, they appear to be part and parcel of the body. But when the body is asleep, their activities are unmanifest. When the bodies are asleep, they're what?
Unmanifest.
Just checking. I'll read that part again because somebody was sleeping. A few of you were sleeping. Just as the sunshine is non-different from the sun, the cosmic manifestation is also non-different from the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The Supreme Personality is therefore all pervasive within this material creation. When these senses are active, they appear to be part and parcel of the body. But when the body is asleep, their activities are unmanifest. Similarly, the whole cosmic creation appears different and yet non-different from the Supreme Person. It's amazing how such a deep philosophical conclusion can be spoken in just one sentence, one verse. The whole conclusion. One verse. Achintya Bheda Bhedatattva. Oh, purport. This confirms the philosophy of Achintya Bheda Bhedatattva. Simultaneously one and different. Propounded by Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is simultaneously different and non-different from this cosmic manifestation. Okay, would someone care to explain what that means? I'm asking a question, trying to get people involved here. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is simultaneously different and non-different from this cosmic manifestation. Now this point has been discussed in the last few verses of purports. So I want someone to explain what this means, how it is that the Supreme Personality of Godhead is simultaneously different and non-different from this cosmic manifestation. The ball is in your court. Get the mic out. I want to hear. I want everyone to hear. There you go. Let's wake up here. Okay. Give it your best shot. Honest John, that's what they call you, Honest John, because you're willing to take a risk.
Prabhupada uses the example of sun and sunshine a lot. Mm-hmm. The sun.
What is that example?
Emanates sunshine.
Yeah.
But it's not physically a part of the sun, but it's the same properties. It's different, but it don't exist without the sun.
So it's the same and different at the same time?
At the same time.
How about that? What's another example?
Well, he was using the example of sleep. I can't really, like when you're dreaming, it's you.
But your body's inactive.
It's not you at the
same
time.
What about fire?
Fire, yeah, it's. I don't know how to. I don't know about fire.
What comes from fire?
Smoke, heat.
Then heat and
light.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, it's not this. It comes from fire, but it's not part of the fire.
In other words, you can talk about heat as a separate thing. You can talk about light as a separate thing, and you can talk about fire as a separate thing, a separate concept. But they're actually only one thing, isn't it?
True.
Yeah. Is there, I guess, another
pass
another take of it is for every action there's a reaction? Is that similar to that or no?
Well, that's true. What you just said is true. You know, in a very subtle sense, when you act, then there's a reaction. But this is more the concept of emanation, how Krishna, is emanating, the world and all the things that are going on in the world, which is made up of action and reaction, which is true. So you'd have to put, a practical example to that idea of action and reaction. It is the same thing, actually. When what does it say? The rain falls. Where does the rain come from?
Saturation.
Sun. Sun hits the what? Go ahead. Yeah, give it to. Like sun, like mother.
Oh, were you going to finish your?
Yeah, the sun shines down on the cloud. The water's in the cloud. So the water comes down because the sun shines on the cloud and causes it to fall. And then the same sun evaporates the water that's already fallen in the ocean and creates the cloud, and there it is, the water and the air, and the sun again. So that's the action and reaction you're talking about, which fits with the example that we're talking about. How the sun is one with all those different things, but different from them at the same time. Go ahead.
So would the same apply to matter, since matter is energy reduced to the visible? Does the same of concept of simultaneously one and different apply to atoms, since atoms are
Yes.
energy? Okay.
Yes, because there are, in the effulgence of Krishna, the transformation of that effulgence creates the material energy, and then one after another transformations of different energies into different forms and different parts, and all the things that come to that when put together become the cosmic manifestation. So yes. Yes, Patrick's got something.
Trying to explain my mind on it.
This is nice. I
So,
think Betty's kind of waking up a little bit. You can only hear so much before you got to wake up.
so like simultaneously one and different, I think like separated but not separate, or so in the aspect like with the fire, if we were to be living in the smoke, say, and we're born in the smoke, and the first thing we ever see is smoke, we don't associate anything with the fire because we're ignorant to its presence. So until we can pull out and see the whole picture and see that there's more aspects to
Yeah, that's similar.
our situation, is that
That's similar.
correct?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
that's similar. Wait, got another document.
No, I was getting.
Anantash, or you want to give it to someone else? Oh, okay, let's go ahead. So we just had a deep analysis by the assembled Vaishnavas of the Achinta Beta Deva Beta Tattva principle. Wonderful. Thank you very much. Okay. I'm going to read this sentence again, and then it'll again, from what you all said, and now try to hear it, because it's not easy to keep hearing, because the mind wants to go somewhere else. When you keep hearing, the mind wants to go somewhere else. So we have to keep waking the mind up, Since the energy, let me see. In the previous verse, it has been explained that the Supreme Personality of Godhead, like the root of a tree, is the original cause of everything. It was also explained how the Supreme Personality of Godhead is all-pervasive. He is present within everything in this material manifestation. Since the energy of the Supreme Lord is not different from Him, this material cosmic manifestation is also non-different from Him, although it appears different. The sunshine is not different from the sun itself, but it is simultaneously also different. One may be in the sunshine, but he is not on the sun itself. Those who live in this material world are living on the bodily rays of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but they cannot see Him personally in the material condition. That goes to the smoke, and that you're saying, born in the smoke, you won't see the fire. In this verse, the word Padam indicates the place where the Supreme Personality of Godhead resides, as confirmed in Ishopanishad, Ishavashyam, Idam Sarvam, Ishopanishad, Mantra 1. The proprietor of a house may live in one room of the house, but the entire house belongs to him. A king may live in one room in Buckingham Palace. Well, maybe not for after a while, Who knows what Brexit happens? They break up everything. A king may live in one room in Buckingham Palace, but the entire palace is considered his property. It is not necessary for the king to live in every room of that palace for it to be his. He may be physically absent from the rooms, But still the entire palace is understood to be his royal domicile. The sunshine is light. The sun globe itself is light, and the sun god is also light. However, the sunshine is not identical with the sun god, Vivaswan. This is the meaning of simultaneous one and different, achintya, veda, veda, tattva. All the planets rest on the sunshine, and because of the heat of the sun, they all revolve in their orbits. On each and every planet, the trees and plants grow and change colors due to the sunshine. Being the rays of the sunshine is non-different from the sun. Similarly, all the planets resting on the sunshine are non-different from the sun. The entire material world is completely dependent on the sun, being produced by the sun, and the cause, the sun, is inherent in the effects. Similarly, Krishna is the cause of all causes. This comes to your point about cause and effect. Similarly, Krishna is the cause of all causes, and the effects are permeated by the original cause. The entire cosmic manifestation should be understood as the expanded energy of the Supreme Lord. When one sleeps, the senses are inactive, but this does not mean that the senses are absent. When one is awakened, the senses become active again. Similarly, this cosmic creation is sometimes manifest and sometimes unmanifest. As stated in the Bhagavad Gita, Bhutva, Praliyate. When the cosmic manifestation is dissolved, it is in a kind of sleeping condition, in an inactive state. Whether the cosmic manifestation is active or inactive, the energy of the Supreme Lord is always existing. Thus the words appearance and disappearance apply only to the cosmic manifestation. And I'm going to stop the reading now. It's 5:30, 5:33. So how to apply this analysis, a philosophical analysis, how to apply this to how we should feel about Krishna? Would someone like to take a stab at it? You got the question? Somebody repeat the question.
How should this knowledge make us feel about
Yeah,
Krishna?
how can we apply this knowledge? How should we feel about this philosophical concept? How should it make us feel?
It should make us feel like Krishna is present everywhere.
Yeah, well then.
Everything.
But then.
And it,
Oh, sorry.
well, I'm just.
Go ahead, you're on track. You're getting warmer, getting closer to the sun. Go ahead.
It should affect the way we act.
What happens before we act?
We think about
We
what
feel. What happens before we feel? We think.
we think, okay.
We think. We feel. We will.
Then
and then
we
we act.
act.
So, I'm trying to get something out of you. Come on, this is one of these riddles. I'm trying to wake up your intelligence. How should you feel about this?
Peace in your heart, love, peace, and harmony. That always goes.
I thought you gave up your hippiehood many years ago. This is your hippiehood. No. There you go. Now you got it. You're getting closer. When you say I like him, I hope you're not talking about me. But anyway, no. Anyway, the fact is we should be thinking. Saving time and energy. We should be grateful. You see, once you kind of get this idea that actually everything that around us, our bodies, our senses, this, the water, air, everything is Krishna. It's being given to us by Krishna. So how should we feel? Thankful, ecstatic. But even before that, we should be thankful. And then we can become ecstatic. Without feeling thankful, how can you feel ecstatic? What the word Thanksgiving? It used to be not just a way to stuff everybody with a turkey, like imagine how great degraded it's come to. That's what turkey means, Everybody cooks the same thing, and it's just disgusting. But the Thanksgiving, it's meant to, we should be thankful. And then when we are thankful and we're seeing everything being given to us by Krishna, then we should connect with everyone and everything in that way out of gratitude. And then we like things in relationship to Krishna. And that lifts us out of the material world and allows us to be with people in a way that's not selfish, that is selfless and harmonious. Huh? Peace. Yeah. There you go. Love, peace, harmony. You must be a deadhead. Please, question.
The absolute truth is realized in 3 phases. I understand the last phase, the supreme personality of Godhead, but can you kindly explain a little bit more the impersonal Brahman and Paramatma? Yes, I maybe missed some of the readings.
No, this is a very nice question. Thank you very much. With the same analogy, Krishna is a person. He's not like an object. It's not like he's a sun in the sense that the sun's an object. He's a person. But he expands himself without losing his original self. His self stays complete. He can expand himself into as many forms and as many features as he wants, and he remains the complete whole. So one of those expansions of him is the Supersoul, Paramatma, and that Paramatma is the localized aspect of his personality within the heart of every single living being. The Paramatma realization means to realize that Krishna is in the heart. And the yogic practice is to meditate, and this is not meditate. You meditate on a candle and stop your mind and all that garbage. That's not meditation. But meditation means to actually go inside and to learn with your subtle body to control the airs, and search inside and search and search and search until finally you come here and you can see the Supersoul inside your heart. Yukta asita matparaha. That's the 6th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. Where there's 4 verses where Krishna describes the process of Ashtanga Yoga. You have to be in a secluded place. You have to sit in a certain kind of seat. You have to sit a certain way. You have to stay at the tip of your tongue. You have to concentrate your mind on one point, not on a flame. Then you have to be celibate. You have to be completely detached from the material energy. And then from there you go and look inside. It's not possible in this age. None of us have the resources, the control of our, internal workings to that degree. But there is a process for doing that. That's the Paramatma. That's called the localized aspect of the personality of Godhead. And those who are not actually yogis, but are pretending, they come to the conclusion that they and that Supersoul are the same. And they conclude that they're God. Rather than think, if I'm God, why am I so bewildered? Or if I'm God, why am I suffering? They don't think like that. They can't think like that. That's called Maya. That's the illusion. Now the Brahman effulgence is also an aspect of Krishna, and that is the effulgence that emanates from Krishna. And that effulgence is permeating everything and everywhere, just like the sun, just like the sunshine, permeating everywhere in the universe. So these are different aspects of the same supreme absolute truth. So the tendency for an immature spiritualist is to have a conception or understand that everything must be coming from the same, everything is one, everything is coming from the same place, which is a very, very beginning stage of Brahman realization. But to actually understand how that energy is diversified and becomes form and activities and relationships and all these other things, that's a deeper realization. How the Brahman effulgence keeps everything together. The idea that God is everything, that's the beginning of Brahman realization. Pantheism, it's the beginning of stage of it. But it's hardly complete, obviously, because it doesn't explain everything. It's like Prabhupada used to use the example that if you saw a mountain at a great distance, actually it's a verse in the Bhagavatam. If you see a mountain from a great distance and you've never seen a mountain before, and it just looks like a little bump like this from a great distance, like a purple bump. So then, and somebody comes and asks you, and somebody tells you, and you say, "What is that?" And you say, "That's a mountain." Then somebody else comes and asks you, "What's a mountain?" And then you'll say, "It's a purple bump on the horizon." It's true, but it's far from complete. So the Brahman realization is like that. It's a realization of God from a great distance where you can't even understand the beginning of the details. And therefore you can't really be motivated by it. You can't really be intrigued and want to go there. And even if you could go to the light and stay there, you get bored stiff, because in that light there's no activity. There's just eternity. There's a sense of eternity. But then if you go closer to the mountain, then you see, hey, there's trees there. You see something more shape. That's like the Paramatma. And then if you go onto the mountain, then you see all the life, living entities and life and what's going on in the buildings and rivers and the flora and the fauna and all these things. Then you understand what a mountain is. That's Bhagavan, Sri Krishna. Okay?
Very good. Yeah.
Okay. So with that, I'm going to take your leave, 1:45. I have an appointment in a few minutes that I have to go to. Thank you all very much. Do we have anything from cyberspace today?
Yeah, there was a question.
Question? Go ahead. We've got one more question in cyberspace.
Okay.
And Doug is searching for it.
It's from Rati.
Rati's like, is she steady or what? Is it? Oh, she's always like that. She's steady as a rock.
She says, Dear Guru Maharaj, please accept my respectful obeisances. Tonight in the purport of chapter 31, verse 12, we heard that sometimes the Mayavadis also chant the Hare Krishna mantra, but their motive is to merge into the Brahman effulgence of the Absolute. I have a question about that. Sometimes we take part in festivals where many modern followers of yoga are present. Some of them are indeed enthusiastic to chant Hare Krishna with us, but I get the impression that many of them are impersonalists. Should we ignore that fact and simply engage them in chanting so they can become purified by the name? Or is it somehow considered to be offensive of them to chant with an object emerging? Should we therefore avoid it?
You should fill them full of as many rasgulas as possible. Practically speaking, they're all Mayavadis. But if you get them to chant and dance, it's good. They're impersonalists, but they're innocent. Most of them are not Mayavadis to the point where they think that Krishna's form is Maya. They can't think that far. There's no philosophy in the West, practically no philosophy. So we don't have to worry about, should we or shouldn't we chant Hare Krishna in public. We should chant Hare Krishna anywhere and everywhere. And you, Rati, in case everyone doesn't know it, are doing that in the most exemplary way. Do you know what she does? She goes out by herself with this little harmonium type of thing, keyboard, and she just goes out by herself and just chants. Walks around the streets and the parks, and sometimes people come up to her and take a book and talk to her and get attracted and come to the temple. It's very exalted to do that by yourself. Well done, Rati. Well done. Hare Krishna. Tamal Krishna Maharaj is so pleased with you. Hare Krishna. Gaur Premanandi Hari Hari Bol. Srimad-Bhagavatam ki jai. Samaveda Bhaktivinoda ki jai. See you later, alligator. Tomorrow at 6:30, same place, same station, Central America time. Well, daylight savings time.